Okay, Shalom Akim, giving all praises, honor, and glorification to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 4. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Okay, so the wicked, who's the wicked? The wicked is referring to Esau, Edom. Okay, and he's being reserved for the day of evil. Now, we know that pursuant to the book of Malachi, okay, 1 and 4, it reads, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. All right, so once again, Esau, Edom is known as the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Okay, now, so therefore Esau, Edom is being reserved for the day of evil, for the day of judgment. All right. Now, I want to add this, that 2/3 of our people of the nation of Israel are wicked as well. Okay. Matter of fact, let's prove that in the book of Jeremiah 5:28. It reads that verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. All right, so our people, 2/3 of the people of the nation of Israel have exceeded the deeds of the wicked. They have overpassed the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. And in fact, the fact that they've gone worse than the wicked, it makes it even worse. Why? Because the nation of Israel is the only nation that can actually sin. Okay, why? Because when you go into the book of First John, chapter 3 and verse 4, it reads, whoso committeth sin, Salakia. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. All right, and the nation of Israel is the only nation to whom the law was given. Okay, it's the only nation with whom the Lord made a covenant with. Romans 9, and let's start at verse 3. For I could wish that myself were cursed from my shayak, from my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants. Right, the first covenant, the second covenant were only given or made with the nation of Israel, and the giving of the law. All right, so the law was only given to the nation of Israel, and the service of Yahweh and the promises. Okay. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Mashiach came, who is over all, the Most High, blessed forever. Amen. Right? So the law was only given to the nation of Israel. So the fact that we have transgressed, the fact that 2/3 of the nation of Israel have refused Yahweh Shai, they have refused to go according to the way that are according to the way, it's like according to the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, it makes it even worse. Okay. Because they're actually going against the course of they're going against their you can say their programming. Okay, because the Lord created one nation to be righteous, and another nation to be wicked. One vessel of honor, one vessel of dishonor. Romans 9. Romans 9 and 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. All right. So this is referring to the two nations that the Lord has separated. Okay, one being an upright nation, meaning the nation of Israel. Speaking of the nation of Israel, and another nation whom the Lord programmed to be the wicked. Speaking of the nation of Esau, Edom. Okay, but in this lifetime, 2/3 of our people have chosen the way of the wicked, so they're going to perish in their deeds. Okay, they're going to punish and receive the death of the wicked. Why? We just read Jeremiah 5 and 28. They have overpassed the deeds of the wicked. Okay, so the Lord is reserving them for the day of evil. Okay, really, what is the day of evil? It's referring to Jacob's trouble. All right. It's called Jacob's trouble because ultimately the judgment is going to start at the house of Yahweh Bashem. Let's get that first. First Peter. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 4, verse 17. It reads, "For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Bashem. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Bashem?" Okay, right? These nations, these other nations started with these heathen nations started with the nation of Edom. They're going to see a serious judgment, a furious judgment by the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Why? Because first of all, they're not the chosen line. Second of all, they've oppressed the Most High's nation, the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's nation. That's who they have oppressed. That's who they've brought into slavery. That's who they slaughtered. That's against whom they've had a perpetual hatred. All right, so they have to pay for the acts that they've committed. Okay, and they're going to pay. Okay. Furthermore, 2/3 Salakia. These nations are going to receive a judgment for what they've done, but 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they're going to have to receive a judgment too. Okay. That's who the Lord is going to judge first, because this is his nation. Okay, the nation of Israel is the Lord's nation. All right, just like a father, the father is going to punish his sons. All right, before he even thinks about chastising his son's friends or colleagues. Okay. All right. If a son misbehaves, the father has to chastise his son first. Okay, and that's what the Lord's gonna do. Okay, he's gonna start with the house of with his house. Okay, which is 2/3 of our people. So Jacob's trouble is gonna come. It's called Jacob's trouble because the judgment is gonna start at the house of Yahbashim Yoshai, but these other nations as well will be partakers of the judgment of the Most High. Okay, now let's read Jeremiah 30, start at verse 5. It reads, "For thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." Right? So it's going to be really bad, man. It's going to get bad. "Ask ye now, and see whether a man does travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turning to paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Who is the he that shall be saved out of it? The elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, those are the men those are the men and women. Okay, because the elect is not only going to be the 144,000 men, but also there's going to be women and child. Okay, men, women, and child that are going to be saved. Okay, it said, and right, so, but that's who it's talking about. It says, but he shall be saved. Okay, but yeah, it definitely starts with the 144,000. Okay, that are, those are the ones that really push this word. Okay, those that follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. The rest, really, they're they could be friends, families, believers. All right, definitely believers in Yahweh Bashem Shai. They're going to be saved. All right, but Jacob's trouble is ultimately it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit really the 2/3. Okay, because they have married themselves, they have joined themselves unto the wicked. Esau, Edom, to the point where they have overpassed the deeds of the wicked. All right. And you're really more amazed when you see like somebody that was not supposed to be wicked and they turn out wicked than somebody that you expect to be wicked and they just, end up doing what they were supposed to do. All right. That's why the judgment is going to hit harder on 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Okay. This is Proverbs 12 and verse 6. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. Right? So 2/3 of our people have been seduced by the ways of the wicked. All right, though they are more excellent, okay? Because regardless, yes, 2/3 are going to perish on this side, but they're going to come back in the kingdom in the righteous mind. Isaiah 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh Bashem Shai with an everlasting salvation. It shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Okay, so regardless, salvation is for Israel. Okay, all right, salvation is for the nation of Israel. Let's go to Isaiah 14 real quick. Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And so the Lord will not forsake the nation of Israel. Salvation is for the nation of Israel. Okay. Now, once again, 2/3 of the nation of Israel on this side will perish. Okay. And the Lord is actually keeping them to receive that major judgment. Okay. Just like the Lord is preserving the wicked Esau, Edom, for the day of judgment as well. All right. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 15 and verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast whose people? 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Those that refuse to repent. Those that they don't acknowledge Yahweh Bashem Shai. They scoff. They mock. They think that the judgment is afar off. They put off the evil day. Okay, they don't believe. Okay, they don't have faith. All right, it says. The Lord says, cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Shai, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh Bashem Shai, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Right. So these are the judgment that the Lord has reserved Okay? Alright? For the day of evil. Okay? These are the judgment that the Lord has reserved for the day of evil. Okay? Famine, the sword, the dogs, the fowls of the heaven, the beasts of the earth. Okay? The captivity. Okay? And death, man. Okay? That's what the Lord has reserved for the wicked. Okay? That not only includes Esau, Edom, but it also includes 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Okay? This is Ezekiel 14 and verse 20. Though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem, how much more when I send my fourth sword judgments upon Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Okay? So speaking of the nation of Israel. The sword and the 2/3, okay, that's who are going to perish by the sword and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence to cut off from it man and beast. Alright? Alright, that's reserved for the wicked. We read in Jeremiah 30 and 7 that he shall be saved out of it, speaking of the elect of the nation of Israel, starting with the men, the 144,000. Okay? Well, verse 22 it reads, Yet, behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings. Ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when ye see their ways and their doings. Alright, because these are the men and women that have changed their ways through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And ye shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? Because the Lord is justified in his doings. Okay, and he's clear when he speaks. Alright? 2/3 of our people are completely wicked. Alright, and they'll be reserved for the day of evil. Okay? And Esau Edom also is being reserved for the day of evil, for the fact that the Lord is going to use them to bring forth his judgment. Okay, real quick, this is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 5. It says, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. Okay, and the Assyrians referring to the Edomites. Okay, the modern day Edomites. The modern day Assyrians are Edomites. Okay, it says, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. Okay. So when the Lord yields that rod, that's the Lord using Esau Edom to get busy on you Israelites. He's the sword to slay. Okay? Alright? He's the sword that the Lord uses or yields to slay. This is Proverbs chapter 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Right? So the Edomites is the sword of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Alright, let's go to Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It reads, And there went out another horse that was red. Speaking of Esau Edom, horse representing power, red represents Edom. Okay? The bloody men. Okay, and there went out, well, it says that he came out red and hairy. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace on the earth. Who gave him that power? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, he's the sword of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Alright, and that sword is being reserved for the day of evil. Okay, to slay the Israelites. Okay, the wicked of our people. But also the Lord is reserving him Esau, Edom, for that great day of judgment that the Lord's going to bring upon him. Okay? Alright, so Esau really, he can't rejoice in the fact that, okay, he's going to, he's going to kill a lot of our people. His plans are, about the Georgia Guidestone, how he wants to maintain humanity at 500 million, you know. But he can't rejoice in the fact that he's gonna slay our people. Alright, thinking that his plans are gonna come to fruition. No, the Lord is reserving him for the day of evil. Okay, he's gonna receive his part of the judgment, but first the Lord has to start with his house. Alright. Now let's go to Ecclesiastes 8. And 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of man is fully set in them to do evil. Right? So right now they're in their pride. Well, the Lord hates pride. They're in their pride. Why? Because they have received a judgment for all the deeds that they've committed for the hundreds of years. Okay. Verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh Bashem, which fear before him. But shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not Yahweh Bashem. Okay? It's not going to be well with him. Okay? Matter of fact, the Lord is going to make them extinct. Obadiah 1:10 and 18. All right, after these Edomites, the so-called white people, go to slavery, they're going to be extinct. After, okay, Slakia, after they go, they serve 1,000 years of slavery. After that 1,000 years, they're going to be extinct. Okay. All right. So right now they're being preserved. Their sins are being, they're just being collected. All right, until the Lord ultimately pours out his vengeance. Okay, these Edomites are not going to escape, man. Okay, they're being reserved for the day of evil. All right, this is Sirach 27 and verse 26. It reads, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. All right, so they're setting traps for the nation of Israel. They're going to fall in the trap that they have made. All right. Verse 27, he that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him. He shall not know whence it cometh. Right, so they're going to, these mischief are going to come upon them hard, suddenly. Real quick. So like Isaiah 47 and 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it cometh, from whence it rises. So like, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which they shall not know. All right, so the wicked is being preserved for the day of evil, with all sorts of calamities that they're not going to know whence it cometh, when it's going to stop, why it's happening. Okay, it's just going to hit them suddenly. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Okay. All right. He that worketh mischief shall fall upon him. Okay. It's not gonna know from whence it cometh. Okay. This is Sirach. Back to Sirach 27 And verse 28, it reads, mockery and reproach are from the proud. All right, and that's what they're doing. They're mocking the prophets. Okay, they're not only mocking the prophets, they're mocking the nation of Israel. Okay, and reproach. All right, he is the accuser of the brethren. Okay, he is the accuser of the brethren. All right, he seduces them, then accuses them. It says mockery and reproach are from the proud. Who's the proud? Esau, Edom, the most proud. It says, but vengeance as a lion shall lie in wait for them. All right, and that's how the Lord's coming, man, as a lion. Okay, as a lion running after his prey. That's how the Lord's coming, with that ferociousness, that viciousness, okay, that fury. All right, but vengeance as a lion shall lie in wait for them. All right, and there's gonna come a time where there's gonna be time to use that sickle, man. Okay. This is Revelation 14:14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. All right, it's ripe, man. All right, the scriptures tell you that the sins of Esau, Edom have reached unto heaven. All right, so she's ripe for the taking, man. She's ripe for the be cast out, man. Okay, be put to shame. All right, to me hell. Okay, a bad condition. Verse 16, and he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of Yahweh Bashem. All right, and the great winepress is when the Lord is ultimately going to destroy the wicked, Esau, Edom. Okay. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles, by the space of 2,600 furlongs. All right. So a severe judgment coming upon the wicked. All right. They're likened unto a winepress, man. So the Lord will take vengeance as a lion. All right. So once again, these devils are being preserved for the day of evil. All right. And once again, that speaks of the Edomites, but like we went into, it also speaks of the nation of Israel. Okay, the Lord is going to use Esau, Edom, to kill a lot of the 2/3. Okay, to kill a lot of them. All right, and then the judgment is going to come upon those that killed the Israelites, which is who, starting with the Edomites and all these other nations. Okay, they are being preserved for the day of for the day of evil, Salakia. All right, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glorification to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem HaKodash, that belongs to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, elect.